Hey there guys, I'm Nick here on Xavier Forion, and today we're doing 4 days until Nintendo Switch. So, tomorrow is the third day, and that's just basically just the final 3 days. It's going to be a lot of hype, basically a lot of waiting, looking at the clock, because we're almost there. I'm just, like I said before, I'm excited. But today, this video is pretty late at night at the time I'm filming this. Like, today, the time you see this uploaded will be around 11 p.m. and I'm filming at like 10 p.m. I'm trying to get this out so I can get up to date with my videos, because if I get this one out, I'm on time again. So, but in the spirit of being so late at night, I thought maybe I would do this video a little early. I was planning to do this on the last day, but today's going to be on tips on camping out for the Switch. I've camped out for many other Nintendo products like the NES Classic Edition, which I have over on my TV stand over there, and countless Amiibo and all that kind of stuff. Did for Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon wasn't really a big deal because the game is stocked really well. We just did basically to get the game at midnight. But I personally have a pre-order, but I still will be there for the last hour. But again, like I said, if you have a pre-order, you can show up at 12. You can show up the next day, and you'll be fine. But I'm just doing it because I want to get it at midnight. I'm going to show up an hour early, though, at 11 p.m. to have just get to see the people in the line, see how the line's going. But if you do not have a pre-order, I'm going to give you some tips on what you're going to want to do. And there's going to be kind of separate rules for getting the neon or getting the gray ones, because the neons are in very, very, very low stock. There's one store that reported that there's like it's a very high traffic GameStop, and they said they're getting like 7 neons left over for customers and like 30 to 40 for the gray ones. So obviously a big difference. And again, that's a high traffic store. For like a smaller store, well, I mean, all GameStops are pretty small, but I mean, if your store's not really that popular, you may maybe like expect 4 neon and maybe like 15 gray ones, or like 10. That's just probably how it's going to be. I honestly do think you should probably camp out at GameStop, because first of all, they're the one with the most stores doing the midnight launch, and honestly, I've just had the most luck there. Because again, there's so many different GameStops that really spread out, and there isn't as many people depending on which one you go to. But if you are planning to get the neon, because the store opens at midnight, I do recommend, if you really want a neon that bad, there's some people who don't really care. If you don't care, then don't stress it. But if you really want that neon, you're going to have to fight for it, and I suggest you may want to check out the line. Like, go around your GameStop and check around 5 p.m. to see if there's anybody already in line. If not, just wait an hour to come back, and then keep repeating that. Like, go there at 5 p.m. and see, oh, okay, no one's there. Go there at 6 p.m. Maybe there's still nobody there. Like, okay, then you go 7 p.m. and you see there's like 2 people in line. Get in line. If you see anybody in line, I recommend you get in line. Like, I'm just saying that right now. I don't care when it's like, oh, I gotta wait this long. If you really want neon that bad, the moment you go to the store and you see people who are actually physically camping out, like they have the chairs and everything, get in line. There's not that many people in there. Just get in line. Just don't risk it. There's like maybe like 3 people in line. Get in the line. I want to stress that a lot. If you want the neon, you see any amount of people, get in the line. Unless there's already like 10 people, then you might as well just give up and try to go for the gray one. But even then, I still recommend getting in the line just to make sure you can secure your gray one with no problems. But if you're getting a gray one, you can be a little more lax. I mean, this isn't like a super big like all-nighter thing, because I mean, even though it is the launch of a console, it's not like the NES Classic where they didn't really do midnight launches. You had to wait for the store to open when they did the restocks, and it was very, very annoying. But you're only going to have to wait a few hours. And I do recommend bringing a jacket depending on where you're going, but it isn't going to be like a super, like, spending the whole night there, so it isn't going to be too bad. So you don't need to bring everything with you like I did for the NES Classic. But seriously, like, if you're going for the gray ones, I would recommend you going around, if you really want to make sure, I would say maybe you do the same thing I did for like the neon and check around 6 p.m. But if you really don't have enough time to check every hour, I'd say show up around 8. Around 8, you should be good for a gray one. Don't quote me on that. You may want to ask your GameStop, whichever one you're planning to camp out at, how many they have. But like a good time, if the gray one's stocked well enough, then they're gonna sell it regardless. But I'd say if you show up at like 8 p.m., 7 p.m. for a gray one, I mean, it really depends. I mean, 8 p.m. I would say like 8 to 9 is like a solid time. Any time after that would be like really risking it, reading them. I think 8's like that solid mid time if you want a gray one. Like I said, as soon as you get off your work, get off school, whatever you do, I'd say around 4 or 5, you need to start checking if you want that gray one. Not gray one, the neons. Gray, like I said, gray can be a little more lax because they are slightly better stocked. But anyways, yeah. So that's just basically my tips for this thing. I mean, like I said, if you want to be comfortable, I recommend bringing your 3DS before the Switch basically takes over your life. I mean, I'll still be using my 3DS, but like there's a lot of Switch games I'll be like hyped for, so I won't be playing as much. But yeah, I mean, like bring your 3DS, make sure that's charged up, and bring a jacket or two depending on where you live. Bring like if you like don't want to sit on the cement ground, bring like a one of the fold up chairs that you do for like events. I mean, that's just basically my advice. I mean, maybe bring some food. I mean, again, it's not gonna be a super long wait. Even if you show up at 6 or 5, I mean, you're gonna be there for. If you show up at 5, it's gonna be 7 hours, but 7 hours is small compared to other stuff I've seen. Because when I went for the NES Classic, I did it from 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. when the store opened. That was horrible. If it was that kind of situation where it wasn't a midnight launch, I'd recommend so much more clothing, so much more food. But yeah. Anyway, I wish you guys luck when the Switch comes out. If you do not get yours pre-ordered, I really wish you the luck of getting this thing, especially if you want a neon. Like seriously, all my luck goes out to you. I know how hard the neon one's gonna get. It was actually hard for me to get a pre-order for it. So I can just imagine it's probably gonna be like the NES Classic trying to get the neon. So anyways, like I said, I wish you guys luck. I hope you got maybe something out of this, maybe like kind of scheduling, may want to check. Besides the lighting looks weird, again I'm doing it late at night. There is no natural lighting I can have over here. It's just gonna be this room's yellow tinted light. So anyways, I will probably up the volume in post because I'm having to talk slightly softer because it is 10 p.m. right now. Anyways, so that's going to be it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next video. Xavier Forion signing out.